chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets. Stop with a quick question to you guys. If you thought it was a fair catch, raise your hand. For the audio listeners here, we're all putting our arms to the side instead of going straight up. Danny, do you want to explain why that is?
Well, what's the dude's name? Cooper DeJean? Yeah, he was going to it was a punt off to the side. He was telling people to he was kind of pointing at the ball with his right hand, sort of doing something weird with his left hand.
Yeah.
His left hand was sort of like get out of the way or something. He was kind of waving, but it never went over his head. And
it did not. It never even came close to going over.
Never even came close. And the referee said that was a fair catch so that he couldn't advance the ball. But they didn't say that until, he had just, because that's not actually a rule. So the ball bounced. He picked it up, ran it back for a touchdown. And they reviewed it to say, oh, maybe he was out of bounds because they couldn't have, obviously.
Of course.
There was too much of a liability of somebody that had this guy in his pocket. So they when they couldn't figure out he was out of bounds, they're like, oh, we should look at other stuff to see maybe he moved his arm and they could call that a fair catch. It's fucking bullshit.
The great collusion council of referees, huh? They had it in for you.
Well, here's my question. If it was a fair catch, then isn't every single person on the other team that tried really hard to tackle him, isn't every single one of those a penalty?
It'd be a bunch of personal fouls.
So yeah, they were trying real hard.
I will say that while this rule is not enforced ever in any college football game, because you always see the guy say "get away from the ball," and
it's happened before. It's never happened on a return for a touchdown
you very often see him pick the ball up and run it. Right? It happens all the fucking time. It happened in the Miami game this weekend. The Carolina guy got it, returned it for 5 yards. Nobody cared. They didn't throw the flag and say he has to go back. First off, it has to be a penalty. You can't review it if it's not a penalty. Anyway. So that is actually a rule. It's like an example in the rule book saying this counts as an
invalid fair catch signal.
Invalid fair catch signal, which you don't get the benefits of the fair catch, so you don't get the protection, but you also can't advance the ball. Is the technical rule. It's never been enforced ever in the history of college football. Because I've watched every single game and I know.
He's been there.
Al, would you like to defend your brethren?
Yeah. No, I don't really have a good defense. I mean, I guess the defense is that if they thought he signaled a fair catch, then everything was adjudicated correctly. But it wasn't a fair catch. I think it was weird. He was sort of like running on an angle, so where if his hand is below his arm, but if you put him up straight, it might be just I don't know. You do the little angle game, you might have it.
His arm doesn't actually have to go over his head for it to be an invalid fair catch signal and him not be allowed to advance the ball. Is technically the rule in the book. So they actually got it right. If you wave to tell people to get away from the ball, you're not allowed to advance the ball. That's but
it's very dumb. It's funny because I got texts. So I had other games or watching the kids or whatever the fuck I was doing, but I had the Action Network up on my phone trying to refresh, and I'm getting all these texts that aren't descriptive, but clearly something major happened, and it all sounded like the Minnesota bet was lost, but the score didn't change, and it's sitting there stuck on whatever down it was, fourth down for the longest time. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh god, that's so bad. I would have probably, I don't know, exploded if I was watching that in person.
Yeah,
Cooper DeJean's going to get so much NIL money next year.
Oh my god! I don't know if he's an NFL caliber player. I don't know much about Cooper DeJean except when I looked up Cooper DeJean, that was not what I expected.
He's extremely fast for a white person.
Oh, he's exceptionally fast.
I mean, I'm assuming he's white. I mean, his name is Cooper, and he looks white.
He's the whitest. If you had to make
he also plays for Iowa, so.
That is, yeah. I don't even know why I posed that consideration. I guess because his speed is that surprising.
Should we do a quick update? You guys want to do a quick update? I have the numbers unless you're ready to go,
Al. For Iowa, yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, so Brian Ferentz, so far, his team has scored 156 points in 7 games.
It's not enough.
Not great. That's 22 points a game. If you include the bowl game, he needs 169 points. So
You're counting defensive points in that, though.
I'm counting all points.
No,
They
all points.
they do too. The
All
contract.
points matter. All
Okay.
points matter in Brian Ferentz.
Ooh.
So the
Okay.
7 points that should have been that weren't, if he misses it by 7 points at the end of the year, it's
He's
going to
gonna
be
do
because
this
of that
the whole
bad
Yeah,
call.
it would be hysterical, but I don't think it's going to come anywhere close to that. He's going to miss it by like 70
100
points. Yeah.
So he needs 169 points, which means 34 points a game. Now, in Iowa's defense, they do have some easier games coming up. They have Northwestern. They're going to need a 40 burger at Northwestern. I think that's safe to say.
That's conservative. They're going to need 70.
Then they have Rutgers at home. Rutgers, they're a scrappy little bunch. I'm not going to hate on Rutgers. They've been playing better. Illinois, man, did they fuck up last week. That should have been a win. Grabbing a loss out of the teeth of victory.
That's what we do.
You guys should hire Mario.
Seriously, holy hell! I can't believe that. Andy, you want to talk about Illinois for a second, or you just want to keep it moving?
I just want to keep it moving.
Okay, and then they play Nebraska. So if they get 34 points a game, and hopefully they play like Temple.
That's
in the
4
bowl game.
games plus possible Big Ten championship and a bowl game.
So if they play the Big Ten championship, I don't know if they add another 25 points. That would be the worst thing. Because
they're going to play Michigan, and they're not going to score a single point against Michigan.
Well, they don't have to average 25 points, right? They just have to hit the number. So it's
I think it goes up by 25 points for every game they play.
Oh, okay.
So they don't want to win the Big Ten West. I mean, as great of an accomplishment as that would be a disaster for Brian.
So let's play a game. How many points does Iowa finish the season with?
So they are.
How many do they have right now?
156, you said, I think.
Yes.
That.
They go no for?
Your price is writing this bitch. 157, Danny says.
254. I think they come up like considerably short. I think they can average 20 points a game, each game for the rest of the year.
Is that what gets you to 254?
Yeah.
Or whatever you said?
256.
I'm going to go more like 230.
Wow.
You guys are going to make me be the most optimistic here.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? I'm taking the Iowa over.
Yeah.
Even if they average 30 points and they've got 4 games left, plus the 156, plus a bowl game, they could get to 300. What did you say, Andy? 250?
Matt
under.
said 250 something. I said 230.
Okay. I'll say 275. I don't want to overbid.
No, you can't go over. You got to stay under. The price is right.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with you guys gave me my first guy $1 bid because anybody could have came out here with $2 and taken it from me.
Yeah. So if they don't hit 230, then Danny's Price is Right theory pays off. That's fun.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, welcome to ChuggieBets. My name's Matt. Got Andy this side of me, Al below me, and Danny in the other corner. And let's drink some beers.
Cheers.
Camel Bush Light is back. Autumn is here. So I do want to start off this podcast on a bit of a somber note after I give some notes away from how we performed last week. In college football, look, it wasn't a great week overall. We were 19-22. I do have to say a couple of us did all right. Danny, solid week, 4-2, not too bad, 2 units up. And your boy, 7-3, 4 units up. I needed a winning week. I'm finally getting past this 500 stretch that I've been suffering from. So kudos to us. I'm giving Danny a Chuggie to give out, and I'm giving myself a Chuggie to give out just for sport. But we're going to get back after this week. But before I do that, I want to talk about the somber note. 2 of ChuggieBets' favorite people may be out for the season. 3 of them. We love Cam Rising. Cam Rising was announced by Uncle Kyle that he will not be playing this season. Lovely hair. Grayson McCall for Coastal Carolina. Danny loves Grayson McCall. Big fan of him. Lovely hair again. Took a really dirty shot on a slide to the head. Had to be like ambulance off the field. That may have been the last time we see Grayson McCall play quarterback, and that would be a damn shame. And Quinn Ewers, which is
He
probably
could get an injury red shirt and come out with one more year of NIL money.
he's been there for like 8 years. I feel like
Yeah.
he's been there since they were in like two conference. They were in
Yeah.
like the Metro Conference.
What's he gonna do for more money than this now, though?
No, I get it. If he can get an injury, let's do it. I want more Grayson McCall.
Oh, for
I
sure.
want McCall of it. And then Quinn Ewers. This is the most impactful. University of Texas got hurt, and he was left in a really dogfight of a game against Houston. But that's a real shame. Texas does have quarterbacks. Malik Murphy's awesome. And no one's even talking about Arch Manning because Malik Murphy's awesome. So they're in an okay situation, but I'm going to raise it.
They've had like 2 transfers that are playing great for other schools. Like Texas is recruiting quarterbacks, man.
Hudson Card, good quarterback. They have a bunch of good-ass quarterbacks. But I'm going to have a ceremonial chug to the loss of all the mullets from this week. It's a bad day to be a mullet, boys. Bad day to be a mullet. But all in all, college football had a really weird week. So I'm going to kind of throw this around. I'm going to ask you guys a question. There were near upsets across the board. We had Washington with an 8-point win at home against Arizona State. And weird thing was a lot of these games were at home, but they were down at halftime of that game. And I think Michael Penix threw 2 picks and fumbled the ball in the first half alone. Disastrous week. Oklahoma had a 2-point win at home to UCF. Now, like UCF maybe have a little extra energy going against Dillon Gabriel, but that game was super close. Came down to a 2-point conversion at the end. FSU was losing in the fourth quarter before Riley Leonard got hurt. Then they opened up, and the spread, all the spread checkers and the newspaper checkers are going to be like, wow, FSU handled business. It was close. It was a tight-ass game until the end. And then Texas holding on a game against Houston. Now, we talked about the Quinn Ewers. But which of those games were most surprising to you, Andy?
I think Oklahoma UCF. You guys know we've got some friends that went to UCF, and I've been saying for years, like, yeah, you guys are really good because the best team you play every year is Cincinnati. Like, try playing a Power 5 team every week, getting the crap beat out of you. Like, there's no way. And overall, I think we've kind of seen that a little bit, but not on Saturday. They hung with Oklahoma, looked like one of the big boys. So that was surprising to me.
I think there were a lot of people smelling their own farts this week.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma was definitely one of them. Just starting to believe their own hype and came out flat and had to really come back and win that game. So,
yeah, you know, good teams win ugly games. Bad teams don't take a knee.
Oh, he was even dude. He almost blew this game. Do you see what he did at the end of the game? We got the ball back, tie game with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and he's like, "Oh, we're just gonna like run the ball and then let this minute and 20 seconds run out and not even try and get a field goal." He just needed to throw a 20-yard pass. We'd be in field goal range. We got a killer kicker. I'm sorry. I just hijacked the podcast.
And also, Emory Williams was dropping dimes the last drive. Like, he had something going with Colby Young. Like, just fucking do it. What are you fucking doing, you fucking idiot?
Yeah, he's so bad. He's so bad. I know. I'm this mad in the game we won.
You beat Clemson, by the way. Congratulations. We'll go into the ACC.
Who cares? Suck my dick, Clemson. I'm foul today. I apologize to no one. I hate it. I'm just fired up. You know. Sorry. So
how can he be this bad?
I'm getting ahead of myself.
He's so good at football, but he was a professional football player. How does he not know football?
So to put a bow on Matt's question, Texas was the most surprising almost loss because they were already they were easily covering before halftime or like on pace to cover, and then all of a sudden Houston tied it up. And I don't know what the hell happened.
I was so sure that Texas was going to get Dana Holgorsen fired because they were going to beat him so bad. I thought he was just going to quit, but before at halftime, like I thought that this game was going to be the end of him.
The Crypt Keeper lives on.
Yeah, he still got that job.
I can't believe Dana Holgersen's holding on to this job, and I've had to update my firing rankings. Sam Pittman, your time is short. Boy, your team gave up. A 7-3 game Arkansas Mississippi State. I'd rather watch any Big Ten West game ever because at least that's by design. This is not by design. This is by inferiority or being challenged. Like this was terrible, and their players were jogging the whole game, like not running to the ball.
Yeah, that's bad.
Dan Pittman, your ass is gone. on.
No, exactly. That game was like bad to watch. Like Iowa plays a boring brand of football, but like they impose their will of football onto the game, right? They do
It
this
is
skill
a brand.
position.
Arkansas
doing
doesn't
it
have
on
a brand.
purpose,
They
and
just
they're
It's
play
by
good at
bad.
it.
design.
Yeah.
It is by
Iowa,
design. They
Iowa
play
has a
field
brand
position.
of bad football. Arkansas has a brandless
Bad football.
that is bad.
It's good.
Iowa's brand is a way that they can compete with teams that are more talented than them because they have one huge strength. Well, two huge strengths if you count a punter, because they
Oh, I
have
thought you were gonna say race.
No, I was just mentioning they have a very, very good front seven. They happen to have a pretty
You
decent
know,
secondary this year too.
Iowa might be ahead of the curveball here, having an all-white roster, essentially being managed by sports cops. It's like, the officiating, they can just be like, I didn't know I couldn't do that, and then they get a pass.
But
Although
I
this is
do
a bad week
know
to
I
bring that
couldn't
up
do
because
that.
the opposite happened. Am I trying too hard and trying too hard?
Yeah,
Nobody.
well-
It's not that you're trying too hard. It's just none of us want to touch that. Nobody wants to touch that.
You launching dead fish at people.
Next topic, Matt.
Boo! I was most
Boo!
surprised
Ow!
with Washington. I knew Washington may have a bit of a hangover after that Oregon game, but come the fuck on.
You should have gone right into Colorado after that. Sorry.
Arizona State is like a corpse. They're a corpse of a football team. You got to play better. You got to play better. I mean, all these odds, Heisman odds, I just sent you guys the Heisman odds, have been adjusted accordingly. Michael Penix was a runaway favorite. Now he went from minus 160 to plus 300.
If you can pick out who's winning the Heisman, you're getting great value right now because I don't know who the fuck's going to win that trophy. And, like, I don't think it's the guys that are at the top, or at least the guy at the top.
I would have said it was sort of between Drake May and Penix going into last week, and Drake May just lost to
Virginia.
what's his face? Mr. Musket.
Washington did win though, so like I think Penix is probably still.
Penix is still in it. You can have one bad game. You can have one bad game and win. He's still in it. But
you're allowed to have bad games.
You can probably have 2 or 3 bad games this year. There's lots of guys that are
you probably
not
just
going to win the
shouldn't
Heisman.
have a bad game against one of the worst teams.
Well, the good thing for Michael Penix is that no one was watching that game. The game Caleb Williams had a bad game and everybody was watching, right? You can't do that at Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame's a good team, right? Like legitimately good, playing in South Bend, a good team. Everything's good about that.
Are the playoff teams known before the Heisman is given, or?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe they are.
None of the games happened, but are the teams known officially?
Yeah, after the championship week. So after like the ACC, Big Ten, all the championship games played, the Heisman is the following weekend.
Okay.
But I think the playoffs are done like the next day after the conference championships.
Okay, so then you could probably make some money if you looked at like is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to win the Heisman?
It's not a bad pick. He had a great game against Penn State.
He's also had a lot of stinkers, but I don't know.
Wide receivers, I mean,
who hasn't?
It's hard to impose your will on a game when you have a bunch of Colbys and Carsons throwing, on your roster to throw you the ball when you're used to having. Chase Young isn't a good example, but yeah.
I do think there's probably value in Carson Beck. I feel like Georgia hype. If you're gonna look, Georgia hype is probably going to pick up going forward because they've been kind of under the radar. I mean, Jordan Travis had a beautiful game last game. Like I was talking shit about how he didn't look right, and he looked awesome. He ran again, and boy, did it look good in the fourth quarter. And Jaden Daniels, baby, I told you. Jaden Daniels, sneaky ass good. Don't forget about him. He is having an awesome year. I mean, I don't know if it'll be enough, but
do you think if Michigan goes undefeated, at least into the playoffs, do you think JJ McCarthy is going to win the Heisman by default, regardless of how he plays?
He's been playing pretty well, man. I know no one watches. I feel like no one's been paying attention to Michigan because they haven't played anyone worth paying attention to. And they're burying them like 8 minutes into the game, so it's not that exciting. But
Michigan State, like that's a team, right? They have players. They're not good this year, but they didn't look like they had any players playing Michigan.
No,
it was 2 different classes of football.
Michigan State is down bad.
Down
Yes.
bad.
Yes, they're down bad. I agree, but like
They could not have more awful things happening to that program.
yes,
Those-
but they look like they're Bethune Cookman, on the field with Miami, right? It's not it's two different classes of team,
Yeah.
I that's what Miami would look like on the field with Michigan right now too.
That's how most teams in this country would look at on the field with Michigan in Miami's defense in this comparison.
You guys saw they put the mustache man on the jumbotron at the game.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
talking? Should we
Yeah.
talk about that real quick? The trivia business of putting Adolf. No, okay. Let's talk about Michigan getting in trouble.
Not with Al's last comment about Iowa.
No, well, I didn't want to be the one to bring it up,
So-
but no one wanted to mention it.
so we're
I'm like,
just gonna end
now it
every
looks worse
segment
if I
on-
don't acknowledge it. Yeah, it's
We're
very
gonna end
bad.
every segment on Al saying something that nobody wants to touch, and then an awkward silence, and then Matt will announce the next topic.
Did you guys hear about Michigan? Right, they got in trouble for stealing signs and everything that comes out of that. I don't know if anyone has thoughts, or I could start the discussion. My discussion is, okay, yeah, you should be trying to steal signs, right? Like you guys get paid to like. Yes, it's sketchy. This guy had 30 stadium tickets booked in the Big Ten this year, and none of them were for Michigan games, and they were all future competition against Michigan. Yeah, that's a little bit
But
weird.
they're games. You're allowed to look at the sideline of the other teams and see their signs, and like that's
honestly,
that's okay.
I think the rules are weird. They're like
He
ancient.
wasn't going to their practices to try and film their signs to learn
Like,
them.
in the NFL, they can't even look at like video. They only see stills during the game. It's like very
Really?
dumb. Yeah, like
On the sideline, they're only allowed to look at stills. Yes,
use technology. Show
Or-
that shit. Fucking
just
watch
like-
the
or
live
just like-
recording and be like, what did they just say in the?
or just like if
What
you're
Al
playing
Michaels?
a football
What
game,
kind of insight can we gain from Al Michaels' coverage? You know.
or if you're watching, or if you're playing a football game, maybe like you don't need an iPad to play a football game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I like the old school guy here?
No.
Wait, are you saying the opposite? That you think it's good that they have to like use a chalkboard?
I think that like you can do all this shit before the game, and like maybe once the game starts, like let's just like get rid of the fucking iPad.
Yeah, no, I think they should. I think they should literally be able to like have their cell phones on them when they're playing.
Okay. I mean, I'm pro steroids,
Use all
but
the technology.
I'm pro steroids, but I feel like the game should be the game.
All the players should be wearing Google glasses.
Or you put a speaker in all the helmets, right? And then you just fucking talk to them. It's not that fucking complicated. I understand you could be radio signaling, but then you don't have to do all these dumb hand motions where
I don't really like the speaker in the helmet either.
Actually-
just do it the same way. Do it the same way high schools do, and you just tell a guy the play, and he runs on the field and fucking tells the quarterback the play, and then the quarterback relays it to the huddle.
how about a
Danny,
no
you're a
huddle
football
situation?
Luddite.
Yeah. How about if there's a no huddle situation?
Is this why I like Iowa?
Yes, probably. I was gonna say they should have that speaker in the helmet because it cuts off after 15 seconds. They should just let it run, and then you get bonus points for having a coach that knows when to shut the fuck up, and the ones that just keep going and make their quarterback throw picks, or get delay of games. That would be fun. That would be a lot more chaos than it would.
How valuable would Peyton Manning be on your coaching staff if he could like talk to your quarterback during the play?
Oh hell yeah!
Right?
Look at the X. Look at the X. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be the
So
highest
it
paid
would be very valuable to be able to like when the quarterback's walking up to the line of scrimmage, have a guy like Peyton Manning or fucking Drew Brees or any of these like geniuses go like, so you could see that they're in cover 2. We're gonna go into this shift. You can
Also,
see that,
look at
like,
how much more home field advantage that would be.
oh, so microphones only work at home? Oh, you could be
No,
allowed.
I'm saying because loud. Yeah, because of crowd noise.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
love
just
it.
think that
think
the game should be the game, and like if like having him fucking watch video of the last play and stills of the last, like this difference between still and video is dumb, right? I don't.
So you're saying get rid of stills, just get rid of all of it.
Yeah. Who cares?
Get rid of
Why do
the
they?
ads.
Why do they?
Get rid of
Why do
it.
they need? Why do I need to have the offensive coordinator in a fucking suite way up above us, sending me a fucking screen on an iPad with a bunch of circles on it saying this is what you should do? He should just fucking tell me, or prepare me before the game starts.
I don't know why you care so much about this, Danny.
Danny, I feel like you'd be really into caber tossing. Just a man and a tree.
They do not allow video.
Absolutely not.
They do not allow speakers.
All
Now
right,
I'm
what's
picturing like a caber tossing coach with an iPad. Like,
Like,
look at your form here. We're
your
gonna
grip
work
is
on your
shit.
technique.
what's the
grip is
awesome
shit.
player for the Rangers right now? That hit 2 home runs tonight. Ramirez or something?
Aroldis Garcia.
Sager.
Garcia. There it is.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been playing great. After a second home run today, where the guy threw like an outside fastball and he just blasted it to right field.
That's
He like
ridiculous.
he pimped out his trot. It was awesome. But then he got back in the dugout and they're like showing him video of the pitches and like how he did it. He's like, he doesn't fucking need that shit.
Oh, dude, if I was a hitter, I want all the video on pitches. Are you kidding?
Of course I do, but I'm saying this dude doesn't need that shit. He just won. He just won. He doesn't need more.
How many RBI does
His
he
last
have
one-
tonight? Jesus.
This is like the anti-American conversation I've ever heard from you. If there's more available, take more. That's what we do, baby.
Yeah.
Why
Danny,
limit
maybe they were
yourself?
just pumping him up. Like they weren't like critiquing his swing. Like here's what's wrong with your home run swing. They were like,
Maybe
I think that at some point the coaches need to let the players play. Like you do all the prep beforehand, you can, but this isn't a game for the coach. This is a game for the players. And like all this stuff where the coaches are trying to coach in the middle of the game, fine, call the fucking plays, but stop trying to like affect the game in the middle of play. This is for the players, and stop trying to take credit for everything.
Danny, should players
"It's
wear
such a weird
jewelry?
take."
Yes.
Okay. I just want to see how uptight a take I can get out of you. Okay,
do you
good.
think maybe they were looking at the iPad at the mentions of Aroldis Garcia on Twitter? They're like,
That
oh,
I'm all
they're
for.
just
I'm
scrolling.
all for him watching a replay of his home run and being like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I did
maybe
that on
that's
the
what
pimp
he
trot."
wants.
That'd be cool. I'm just sick of like coaches trying to like pretend that they're more important than they are, especially in like fucking football when they're it's so annoying.
Should
Oh,
there
and
be
baseball.
more unwritten rules or less unwritten rules?
That question's directed at you, Danny.
Give me so many unwritten rules that no matter what you do, you're offending someone on every play.
You broke the
No, I
rule.
think we should write the rules down. I think we should write the rules down that if you pimp out your trot too much, you're not allowed to hit him, and if you do, you get thrown out. That's fucking dumb. Don't throw baseballs at people.
What do you think Brian McCann does when he watches someone pimp out a trot on the home run? Do you think he just like burns himself with a cigarette to make himself feel better? He's
I
just like,
hate.
I
I
think
hope
if
so.
a-
I hate Brian McCann so much.
I think if a
worst.
pitcher steps on the foul line, they should get ejected.
you guys want to pick some games?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Not
I
really.
Why not?
Let's go with the games. So we got an early
Tony wants to get good name. We already
Um,
talked about it.
I'll lead off the first one, Andy, and then Andy will take over. On Tuesday night, we got New Mexico State going into Louisiana Tech. Both teams are trash. I do think New Mexico State is likely the better team, so I'll take the option of having 2.5 points and take the points with New Mexico State.
Nice.
We should all
Sure about
practice driving. We should all practice driving this podcast in our best Pat McAfee impression.
Dawn! Just scream Dawn.
Yeah, everybody sleeves up.
We're going to Western Kentucky where the Liberty motherfuckers are gonna win.
Yeah, I will not be participating in that.
Come on, Andy, it's your turn.
You gonna roll the sleeves up, man?
Oh, yeah. Okay, credit. No sleeves. It
Liberty
doesn't work
might win.
for audio, Danny, but I love you anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Eric-
everybody on YouTube watching on YouTube could jerk off to my arms now. So
That was
Sure,
my
I'm used
plan.
to jerking off with your arms.
All
This-
right.
This it's an X-rated podcast, and it's all my fault.
Liberty
sorry.
might win, but they're not going to win by 4. How's that? Western Kentucky and the Hilltopper. What's his name? Big Red.
Bowling Green.
Oh, is that Bowling Green? That's not
No,
Western
you're
Kentucky?
No. Western Kentucky is Bowling Green is the city.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a callback.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a callback.
Yeah,
For all
play
our
in the-
loyal
they play-
listeners.
They play in the big house.
yeah, exactly.
No,
So
but they
Western
actually
Kentucky.
play in Bowling Green.
With the
I
cool
don't
helmets.
know.
Plus 4. Matt?
You guys saw these helmets, right? Everyone saw the helmets. I love the helmet, right?
Yes,
If
the
anyone hasn't
shiny-
seen it,
The ones that
Google-
are like so shiny they're distracting.
My
no.
favorite is the linebacker, the guy in
Oh.
linebacker pose who's taking a dump. Clearly, he's like,
Yeah, I love it.
Wait, is this the game they're wearing them?
Yeah. On Tuesday,
All right, I'm off Liberty.
and the defensive back who's making a fair catch signal.
yeah, he's My favorite is the offensive lineman who's clearly twerking. Like,
Yeah.
he's not.
So to
Big
explain
guy
this,
shit.
Western Kentucky is wearing helmets with different decals with big red on them, depending on your position. So there's like an O-line one where Big Red's just like squatting like he's about to drop a deuce, and then I don't know, he's like hurtling or like throwing, I don't know, doing all sorts of
There's
funny
one where he
shit.
does the Heisman pose, probably for the running backs. There's I don't know. There's one where you think he's throwing the
Great.
ball.
You should look it up.
Which is
That's-
ironic because Heisman doesn't go to running backs anymore. But
It's true. The good thing is they can
Neither
live.
does money. You know what else is ironic? Heisman, if you break it up, spells he is man.
I don't even know what to do with anything else giving me tonight. But everyone thinks Western
what the fuck
Kentucky is
is wrong
good.
with me?
This is not the same old Western Kentucky. Liberty is the best in that league by a wide margin. They did not cover last week. I love this opportunity for Liberty to cover. Land them all with 4, and let's go get some money.
I like Western Kentucky.
So if you're
I love
into
that
red
win.
I
teams,
feel so much worse about this.
You should.
if you're into red teams, might I introduce you to the Jacksonville State Gamecocks? I'm going to lay 7.5 with them at FIU on Wednesday night.
Laying points against FIU seems like a good idea generally, but then on Thursday night, this is a weird one. Syracuse going into Virginia Tech. Syracuse is getting 3. I think it's enough. I'm taking the 3 points with Syracuse. I think it's a close game, and they either win outright or at least keep within 3.
This is a weird game. This is going to be the classic ACC game where I have no idea what the end result is. I do think Syracuse is better. I do think Lane Stadium on Thursday night with the drunk hill people of Virginia, where that stadium is, are going to be there in full throat.
The big house.
The big house, sorry, not Lane
Yeah.
Stadium, the big house. I do. I'm going to watch it. But
It took me this long to get Al's joke when he was mentioning the big house that was also a callback.
It was. I wish Sunshine was on here for the Georgia State Georgia Southern game.
That's like the Sunshine Bowl.
It really
We should
was.
actually, one of you should call him right now and put him on the spot. Feed him the line and see what he says. He'll probably actually be upset. But
He just blows up. I think that's it for the weekday.
He's just gonna bet the 3-way draw money line.
There is a standalone game on Friday night. I know nobody put in a pick, but just curious if anybody has any thoughts on FAU Charlotte. It's a shame that is a game that is on all by itself because that's a game nobody should watch.
No, what's really a shame is come Friday, I'll probably have talked myself into a play on that one, and I'll be watching it.
The line's moving in FAU's direction, but probably not far enough. I think I like Charlotte at the 4.5.
I kind of like the over. It's at 41. I project it closer to 45. So,
Did you
points
guys
on Friday night?
Did you guys see the line? I'm sorry. I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it. The UTEP Sam Houston State total. It is currently at 36, I think.
36.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
my Sam Houston bet last week.
Terrible. They're terrible, man.
They were up by a touchdown in overtime. It was ready to cover, and then they gave up a touchdown, and then they lost in double overtime. So
Yeah.
but it took double overtime for them to get to a total of like less than 40.
Oh, they're bad, dude. Their offense
It's
is
like
so bad.
My buddy John bet on Sam Houston State, and I tailed it, and I was like, that was surprisingly, it was one of those bets where it's like you got your money's worth even if it didn't hit.
your buddy John. I'm your buddy right here. I gave the
Yeah.
pick out.
I know.
You told me.
Yes. Well, it didn't hit.
That makes sense.
It almost hit. I was pretty good in college. this week.
Right
You were-
side,
you
wrong
were the
result.
unspoken round.
Matt and Danny carried us this week. So
I
thank you
lost
guys.
2 games. One of them was that one, which I was up in overtime, ready to cover, and the other one was the fucking Iowa game.
Hey guys, I think we're pretty close to the end here, and Matt and Danny both have chuggies to give out. So if anybody would like to,
drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I derailed this thing hardcore.
I
Yeah.
also want to tell Al to drink, but I
No.
guess I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna say Al, drink twice.
Oh God.
I'll just
bad.
drink mine of my own free will then.
Andy, I don't know in a world where Sam Houston State's a 3.5-point favorite. That seems like a scary bet. I don't know if you have projections on what you see in that game, but
I actually have Sam Houston State -3.
It's
as
so
my
fuzzy.
As
my
the
number.
bet.
So
Ooh, yucky. Don't watch that game. For the love of God, do something else with your time.
yeah, watch Jacksonville State FIU.
Yeah, Jacksonville State's good. They're fun to watch. FIU's not, but Jacksonville State's good. Give that a watch. Watch Syracuse, Virginia Tech. I get. Oh no, that's next day.
If oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's all of our weeknight games. So thanks for sticking around with us. We are going to have a ton of content this week because we're going to have UCL picks. We're going to have our college football pod for Saturday picks, and we're going to have our NFL pod. So definitely make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell your mom. She'll love it.
She will. She'll love this episode in particular.
And
Yes.
don't tell anyone I know what I said about anything.
Good night, Joey.
Good night, Ken.
Good night.
Good night, Al's friend Matt.
Good night, Matt's friend. Ow.